So welcome to level 5. We're going to show you how to do the manifestation meditation. So I want to share with you the journey that I would take to get into a place in your body called the tiny space in your heart. And that tiny space in your heart is where all creation is made. So there's a point in your body, in your existence, where all connections are made through all the universes, all the dimensions, and all reality. And this is a place where all things are created. So there's many steps to getting to this place. And I'm going to share with you the 4 steps of meditation, of traveling through your body to get into this tiny space in your heart. So let's get started. So I'm going to share with you the 5 steps of meditation, or the 5 exercises that you can do to eventually get into that tiny space in your heart. This place, in this point in your soul, in your spirit, is where all creation happens. So anything that you want to manifest, anything that you want to create in your life can be created starting from this point in your heart. And this is the actual place where all dimensions, all universes, all reality is connected. We're all connected to all existence in this tiny space in our hearts. So let me show you the first exercise now. So just like how we did the body awareness meditation, where we imagine Qi going into different parts of our body and we feel the awareness in different parts of the body, now what we want to do is to be in that part of your body. So what I mean by that just is that imagine you are a small little marble of light, small ball of light, and you are traveling through your body. Let's say you're traveling from your head down to your throat and then to your arm. Well, if you are actually that ball, then your perspective will be like a little ball. So if you are going down your throat, imagine an elevator. Imagine you going down an elevator on a building. And as you go down, you can see that the floor above you moves away from you. And as you move up, let's say you go up the elevator, you can see that the floor below you kind of goes down away from you. So that's the perspective that I want you to have as you move in this little ball up and down your body. First of all, I want you to get into your head. So that's usually where most people start, because we are in our heads a lot, because our eyes are behind in our head. So our awareness is in our head, and that's very easy to imagine. So first, I want you to imagine that you are the little ball inside your head, right in the middle, behind your eyes, between your ears, right in the middle. So this ball of light. So feel the head around you. You should feel that it is thick, it is solid. You should feel solid bone of your skull around you. And as you look out, you can see your eyeballs, right, because they're in front of you. And you can look to the left, you can see your left ear. If you look to the right, you can see your right ear. And if you look to the back, you'll see just the back of your head. So imagine that ball of light. Now what you want to do is to start moving down to your throat slowly. So as you're moving down to your throat, you're still this little ball of light. Move down to your throat, and you should be able to see that your head or your skull is now moving away from you as you move down this elevator of your throat. So now you should be at your throat. And if you look up, you should see your head. And if you look to the left, you should see your left shoulder. If you look to the right, you should see your right shoulder. And you should be able to feel the fleshy, soft feeling, because you're right now in your neck. Now I want you to move yourself back up to your head. So slowly you're moving this ball of light. You are the ball of light. And then you're moving up this elevator in your neck. Slowly, and as you move up to your head, you can see your shoulders moving away from you. You can see your neck moving away from you, and now you're coming closer to your head. So move back to your head, back to your original position. And now you're behind your eyes. And now the feeling you feel is the thick, the hard skull of your head. So that's the first exercise. First exercise is just to get your awareness to become that little ball. Instead of just feeling the ball going up and down your body, now you want to become the ball and have the visual perspective of the ball. And I also want you to feel the feeling. So if you're in your head, in your mind, in your brain, in your actual head, you should feel the skull around you. You should feel the thickness. You should feel you should feel how solid the bone is. And as you move down the throat, you start to feel the soft, fleshy parts of your throat. So that's the first exercise. I want you to try that at least 3 times. Do it slowly. Get used to moving up and down the elevator of your throat. So one important point to be aware of is that whenever you go back to your head, make sure that you're oriented forwards where your eyes are and you're looking forwards. Some people, when you do this meditation, when they come back up, they end up looking backwards. So you don't want to do that. You want to be looking and oriented towards the front. So once you've done that a few times, the next thing I want you to do is do the same thing. Go from your head, feel the hard bone, go down the elevator to your throat, feel the softness. And now I want you to be still being the little ball of light. Now move to your right shoulder. So as you move to your right shoulder, you may see your head is now to your left, moving away from you. So feel your shoulder, feel the muscle on your shoulder, feel the bone of your shoulder. You should feel the meats there, you should feel the bone there, feel the hard bone there. And you are the shoulder right now. So now I want you to move slowly back to your throat. And as you move, you should see your shoulder going away from you. So stay in the throat again and feel the softness of your throat. Now I want you to move to your left shoulder. So move now slowly to your left shoulder. And as you move, you should see your head on your right moving away from you. And as you arrive to your left shoulder, feel the muscle on your shoulder, feel the bone on your shoulder. And then now I want you to move back to your throat. So as you move back to your throat, you should see your left shoulder moving away from you. And now you're in the throat. And now you feel the fleshy, soft part of your throat. So it's important to always stop at your throat as a point of reference before you go to your head. So now you're in the throat. And next, I want you to go to your right shoulder again. So as you move to your right shoulder, you should see your head moving away from you to your left. And now I want you to travel down from your shoulder, down your arm. Down your arm to your elbow. Feel the pointy part of your elbow. And then down your forearm and into your hand, into your right hand. So now in your right hand, you should see that your fingers are very, very big. 5 fingers are very big because you're just this little marble of light in your hand. So feel how it feels like to be in your hand. Now I want you to move back to your right elbow, so slowly move up your arm. Now you should see your hand moving away from you. And then at your elbow, you should feel the bone there. And then move up your arm back to your right shoulder. So now you should see your elbow moving away from you downwards as you approach your right shoulder. And on your right shoulder, feel the meaty muscles and the shoulder bone. Now slowly move to your throat from your shoulder. You should see your shoulder moving away from you to the right. And now you're at your throat, looking out, forwards. You should feel the soft, fleshy parts of your throat and the warmth. And now move back up the elevator slowly up towards your head. You can see the head coming closer to you. And now you're back into the head. You feel the solid bones of your skull. And orient yourself back forwards, looking forwards towards your eyes. All right, so now you're back where you started. So that is the first part of this meditation. And we just went down to your throat, to your shoulder, down the arm, into your hand, and then back up. So now you can try this and move to the other shoulder and other hand and back up. Do this a few times, 3 times each. And you can also start exploring different parts of your body. Once again, when you're doing this meditation, make sure that whenever you're going back to the head, make a stop at your throat as a reference point before you go back to your head. The next exercise, I'm going to show you how to enter your heart, your physical heart, not your heart chakra. So your heart chakra is in the middle of your body, whereas your physical heart is slightly to the left on your chest. So using the same technique we learned in the last exercise, now instead of just going down to your throat, I want you to go down to your heart, your physical heart. You're the little ball of light. And we want to go down your throat and to your heart. All right, so let's do that meditation now. So imagine you are a small ball of light in your head, right in the middle, between your ears, between your eyes, right in the middle of your head. So if you look forward, you should see your eyeballs. If you look to the left, you should see your left ear. If you look to the right, you should see your right ear. So slowly move down your throat, to your throat. And just like last time, imagine you're in an elevator. And as you move down, you should see that your head is moving away from you, above you. So move down to your throat, and you should feel the soft, fleshy throat. Now we're going to continue downwards in your body. We're going to move down towards your heart. So as you approach your heart, you should see your throat and your head moving away from you. And now you look down, you can see your heart there beating. So go into your heart. And now you're inside your heart, and you should be able to feel the heat. You can hear the sound. You can feel the beating, the rhythmic beating. You feel the heat and the warmth. You may feel expansiveness. So stay there for a few minutes. Feel the soft, fleshy parts of your heart. Feel the heat and the blood, the strength of your heart muscles that keep beating thousands of times a day. So really sense how it feels like to be in your heart right now. Now I want you to move slowly back out of your heart and moving upwards now back to your throat. you should see your heart moving away from you, below you, as you move up this elevator back to your throat. And feel the fleshy, soft parts of your throat. Keep moving up the elevator. Go up to your head. Now you can see your throat moving away from you. You're moving closer towards your head. Now you're back inside your head and feel the hard skull and bone inside your head, looking forwards. All right, so now we've traveled from the head to your throat, to your heart, and then back up. So the key to this exercise and meditation is to really feel the difference of the awareness inside your head and the difference of that compared to the heart. So the heart, your heart should feel warm, very hot. You should feel the beating of the heart. You should feel the muscle and the softness at the same time and the expansiveness. Whereas in your skull, you should feel the dense, you should feel the hard skull and the bone of, in your head. So practice this 3 times or more so you can get used to the traveling and get used to those feelings and get used to really being conscious of the difference of the feelings of the different body parts. The next exercise is very simple. We're just going to do the same thing we did in the last exercise, except we're going to add some resonating. So when you're in your head, just say Om. When you're in your head, Om. And then when you move down to your throat, as that little ball, whenever you're ready, whenever you feel it's right, then you can move down to your throat. And as you move down to your heart, your physical heart, as you come inside your heart, just say Ha. Ha. And then when you move back up your throat, and back to your head, you say Om. Om. All right, so now when you're doing the meditation, you can feel the resonance of that part of your body, and you should actually physically feel your skull vibrating when you go You can feel your jaw and your skull vibrating. And when you go Ha, you should be able to feel your heart vibrating. So this gives you another dimension of awareness of that part of your body, your head and your heart. So practice that at least 3 times, and then we can move on to the next part. One tip for this kind of meditation is that the more you practice it, then the faster you can travel. And at first you may be moving from one body part to another. It may take you some time to get to that location. You might move a little bit and then kind of get lost. So backtrack and really feel that part again before you move on to the next part. But once you do that a few times and you get used to the visualization, then it becomes a lot faster. So you can move up and down the elevator, or you can move from one part to another body part faster. So this exercise is now to move into the sacred space of your heart. And this is a very important part in your soul where you can connect to yourself and connect to your subconsciousness. So there's 2 ways of entering this part in your heart. One is the masculine way, and the other one is the feminine way. So the masculine way is done by visualizing a toroid. So our Qi coils are made in the shape of a toroid. So just imagine that your heart is in the middle of this toroid, and Heart Math Institute has actually researched that our hearts create an electromagnetic field just like the shape of a toroid around our hearts. So just imagine your heart is in the middle, And as you're going down from your head to your throat and to your heart, you're going into this whirlpool, this spiral, and spiraling deeper and deeper into your heart. So imagine a whirlpool. On the outside, you're spinning very fast. And then as you go deeper and deeper and closer to the middle, then the circles get smaller and eventually get right in the middle, and then you get into the center of the vortex. So just like a tornado, on the outside, it spins very fast. As you get in the inside, it's actually very still. So you'll find that once you reach that stillness, as you go spinning down that vortex, then that is where your sacred space of your heart is. So you may be spinning counterclockwise, or you may be spinning clockwise. It doesn't matter as long as you end up in the middle. So the second way is the feminine way, and it's really quite simple. All you have to do is just intuitively let yourself be guided into your heart. So you just follow your intuition, follow your feelings, and just know that you are in your heart and in your sacred space as you do the meditation. As you move down to your heart chakra and your physical heart, just eventually just use your feelings and your awareness to intuitively be guided to that sacred space in your heart. So you can use the masculine or the feminine way, whichever way works for you will be fine. So the feminine way, one more note is that you will feel that you're going through a membrane. So generally people will go through the back of your heart, into the sacred space. So just think about that when you're entering your heart. Now let's do the sacred space of your heart meditation. So start, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and just imagine yourself as a light, small ball of light in your head. And whenever you feel the time is right, you can start moving down your throat, moving down to your throat. As you move down to your throat, you can see your head is moving away from you, above you, just like an elevator. So now you're at your throat. You're looking out, and you can see below you is your chest, and you can see above you is your head. You should be able to feel the soft flesh around you, the tender flesh of your throat around you. Now slowly move down towards your heart. You should be able to see your throat moving up now, away from you, as you move down slowly to your heart. Now as you're above your heart, you can see this toroid, this vortex. So move into this vortex, and as you're spinning, you start to get caught up in this spin on the outside of the vortex. Then start to spin tighter and tighter into the middle of the vortex. Either direction is fine. And as you spin tighter and tighter, just like a whirlpool, you're going to get deeper and deeper and closer to the center. So just let yourself be drawn into the center of the vortex. So as you spin around this vortex, you start off being on the outside of the vortex, spinning faster and faster. Let yourself fall now deeper into the vortex. Let the gravity just pull you down into this whirlpool as you get closer and closer into the center. So now you should be spinning faster and faster as you closer into the middle. And just keep falling and falling and falling. So once you fall deeper and deeper, you'll find that eventually you get to a point where you're in the middle of the vortex. And you'll feel this calmness and stillness, just like the eye of a hurricane. So now in this part of your heart, feel the heat of your heart, feel the beating of your heart, and just explore your surroundings. Know that you are inside of your heart sacred space right now. If it's really dark around you, just say, "Let there be light." And be aware and notice how the light turns on. And now the light enters or is activated in your heart, sacred space. Keep exploring this area of your heart. And you may notice that you can hear a different pitch in your ears. There's a different resonance and vibration that you can hear right now. Try to memorize this sound and try to imitate this sound right now. You can use your mouth or you can hum it. So be familiar with that resonance and that pitch. So you may be tempted to stay in this place for a long time. It could be quite seductive to be in this sacred space of the heart. So stay here for as long as 15 minutes to 20 minutes. So whenever you feel that it's right, now you can leave your sacred space and then slowly move back up through the vortex, back out, back up to your throat. Feel the fleshy parts of your throat. And whenever you feel it's the right time, you can move back up to your head, feel the hard skull around you, and then whenever you feel it's right, you can open your eyes and take a few breaths and reorient yourself with your surroundings. So that is the sacred space of your heart meditation. So it allows you to enter into your heart and soul, so to speak, and be connected with yourself and be connected with your subconsciousness in a very profound way. So it's the stepping stone of reaching the next destination, which is the tiny space of your heart. The tiny space of your heart is, as it says, it's the special place inside of your heart that has an even higher vibration than the sacred space of your heart. So in the next exercise, we're going to go to that place and I'm going to show you how to get even deeper. So as I said earlier, the tiny space in your heart has a higher pitch and vibration than the sacred space of your heart. So when we went to your sacred space, I told you to listen to the sound and the vibration and memorize it. So what that does is that it causes you to become faster at going to that place in your heart. Eventually, all you need to do is just imagine that vibration or imagine that sound, and you'll be able to enter that place right away. So the same goes for the tiny space. When you get to that tiny space in your heart, you can just imagine, memorize that pitch, and now you can get there as well much faster. how you do this is while you're in your sacred space, intuitively feel yourself drawn into a specific part of your heart. Imagine you're in your heart and in your heart sacred space, and then look around and explore. Eventually, you will be drawn to this place. Now, you maybe imagine your heart to be a room. When you're in your heart, it could be in a cave, it could be in a forest, it can be in a cathedral, it can be in a pyramid. So whatever you imagine, explore that place, that location that you are at. And eventually you'll be drawn to a specific place in that location. So for example, when I do it myself, and this may be completely different for you, is I imagine that I'm in this big, empty space, and it goes on to infinity. The ground is made of something shiny. It's made of probably a metal, a gold metal. And there's these symbols all along the ground, and it goes on to infinity. And then when I'm looking for that tiny space, I'm drawn to this circle on the ground. And then as I walk to that circle and sit on that circle, I can feel that I'm in the tiny space, or I'm on my way there. And I imagine myself being lifted higher and floating up higher and levitating from that spot. And I can see that now the ground is moving away from me, below me. And then I arrive at this path, and then there's this door at the end of the path. And as I slowly levitate and hover over to this door, and as I go through this door, there's a door of light. It's like a window in the middle of space. As I go through, then now I'm in my tiny space. And everything is expansive. It's all white. Everything is bright. And I'm completely free. I can fly anywhere I want. And I can create anything I want. So it may not be the same for you, but the idea is to be in that sacred space and to eventually explore and eventually find a spot, that place. It could be a chair in a room. It could be a small cave in a mountain. It could be a small door that you go through, or a window or a passageway. But then once you go through that place, you will know that that's a different place, because it feels completely different. And the sound is a higher pitch than the sacred space. And while you're there, you will feel a lot more freedom. Personally, I feel whenever I get to that space, these waves of energy and electricity go through my body. And that's a good sign. It means that you have activated something. So while you're in that space, the tiny space is the space of creation. So in that place, you can imagine anything you want, and you can manifest anything that you want. And it's in that space that you will be able to create anything that you want in your life, because that space is connected to all universes, to all dimensions, to all realities, and to all creation. So now you're connected to your universe, and you connected to that creative energy, the source of where all things are created.